We got something. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network. The Bills have fired Sean McDermott. Sources tell the insiders.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and there's an edited post. See the latest post? Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
It happened.
Wow.
The Bills have fired Sean McDermott.
Wow. All right. Wow.
Ian Rappaport. The Bills have moved on from Sean McDermott.
Wow.
It's got a chill up my spine. This is crazy.
Wow. I'm in shock.
I am also in shock. Wow. All right. I mean, listen.
They fired McDermott.
Yeah. They fired Sean McDermott.
I can't believe it.
The margin was so thin that pass gets called as an interception and he's fired. That's incredible to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Whoa.
Really?
Hey, I mean,
Pelissero, Mike Garafolo, Rappaport, all of them.
Does he want to coach this year? Is he getting interviews
I don't see it
immediately? I don't know.
Diana Rossini now, too. I don't see anything about Bean. So, McDermott.
Wow.
And it's on ESPN right now.
Well, I mean, listen, everybody's got it. Sal, come on in. I mean,
Yeah, get his mic up.
Sal,
Where do you want me?
wherever you want to sit. We got, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can stand too here.
Yeah, sure. Sean McDermott has been fired by the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in total and utter shock.
Okay. Me
Same.
too. So just so you all know, I was literally down in another studio doing It's Always Game Day in Buffalo, and Matt Bove says on the podcast, "Hey, of all the things to lay this loss on, Sean McDermott's the least of them."
Yeah.
And as soon as he said that, he said, "We have breaking news right now on the podcast. Sean McDermott's been fired." So Sean McDermott out as Bills head coach, according to Ian Rappaport, according to Adam Schefter. The Bills will now be looking for a new head coach. We don't know the fate of Brandon Beane. We haven't seen anything about that. So I can't imagine at this point. That is... Yeah, so I'm getting texts, just people
Schefter,
trying
everyone.
to confirm. But yeah, absolutely, this is...
It's every insider. Rossini,
Yes.
Schefter,
Yeah,
Rappaport, Mike Garafolo, Tom Pelissero, all of them. They're all saying
9
it.
seasons in Buffalo. Sean McDermott. And listen,
Elena
there's two
Getzenberg.
parts of this. We're going to focus on the Bills part, who the next head coach is, who should be the new head coach. I think Sean McDermott is going to be a very hot commodity for other teams who want a head coach.
I think that's very possible.
Right? I think that's going to happen as well. We'll see where this goes.
Wow.
So today is a day that a lot of people have been asking for and wanting. It's also a day that a lot of people thought would not happen. I'm in that boat.
I never thought
I did
it
not
would.
think this would happen.
Do you think that this means, I mean, like, we're just going to guess here.
Can I say it before you go? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I was talking with somebody today about this who would know some things, and the reaction I got from somebody was, I don't think it's happening with a new stadium coming. There's so much on the plate of this ownership and what's happening right now that I don't see it happening right now with everything going on, the success they've had, the new stadium opening, all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so much at play here, but now we know.
I mean, they were... That's
Yeah. Listen, like...
Wasn't he giving his input and opinion on like things in the new stadium and like just
Sure, but I mean, yeah.
I know that's
Yeah.
I know that's not why you would keep him, but
I know.
Still, just
I'm saying that
I never
the breadth
heard
of
or
the
saw
breadth
anything
of,
that would lead to believing that this could happen.
right. Like in my I've been asked on all these radio shows every time I go on a radio show for the last month and a half. People have said to me, what if they don't make it? What if they don't make it? Will Sean McDermott get fired? My response has been, I can't see Terry Pagula doing that right now.
Same.
And I'm going to stay with that. Like, I'm stunned that this happened simply because this is not about deserving or not deserving. This is about, did we ever think Terry Pagula would get there?
Right.
And obviously he did. I did not think he would.
I would imagine that Terry Pagula is really upset to do this.
Sure.
But feels, I guess, a responsibility to do it. The real question is, next question, like, listen, we thought all year long maybe it was a power struggle between the coach and the GM. And did the GM stay? And does he get to pick a coach? Because Now we're
Right.
entering a coaching search. I mean,
what level of coach do they want to hire? Does that coach want his own GM or
And now, let me.
does that happen now? Could that happen after the draft, the way it happened when Doug Whaley was the GM?
is the Bills' job immediately more interesting to people? Like, if you're a candidate out there looking for a job, like, whoa, I got to make sure I get one more interview over here. And Joe Brady is not going to get this job, right?
This is a great point because I felt as of yesterday when people say like, okay, like could they move on from him? My thought was, if you're going to do it, you got to do it soon. There's so many jobs open.
Right.
You can't continue to wait. All these guys are interviewing right now. If you're going to do it, you have to do it soon. And every hour that passed by was like, okay, they're not going to do it. Today, here we are. This tells me they want to move on now and get all their ducks in a row to figure this out. So what happens? You're going to hear a lot of names. Brian Daboll is interviewing for the offensive coordinator position in Philadelphia.
Right.
Okay. That's going to be someone that's name's going to be attached to this right
he's
away.
Interviewed for head coach in Tennessee too.
Right? Okay, that's going to happen. You're going to get other names that are out in this cycle, right? I think Stefanski's already gone, right? He's
gone.
already in Atlanta.
Harbaugh's going to.
Here's my overarching thought on if this was going to happen. There's only two ways the Bills can go on their next head coach. This is what I think. Number one, it's got to be somebody who has a Super Bowl. Because you're not firing Sean McDermott to hire somebody who's recycled that hasn't won a Super Bowl. Because what's the difference there?
Right.
Or the second way is you hire the best offensive mind you can.
Well, that's 100%.
And it doesn't matter what the track record is of that person or where they've been. Right?
Yep.
That's the only two ways I think you can do this.
Right.
Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. I said to Joe in the break, someone won't go all the way to like super secret Bills source, but you know how it works.
Yes.
People send you stuff on Twitter. I got a DM that said, "Be prepared to have a show about McDermott losing the power struggle, and the Bills want Clint Kubiak."
Clint Kubiak.
That you want the youngest, brightest offensive mind? Like, there's the guy. Now, I said, like, I don't know if I found that all that believable. 20 minutes later, McDermott is out. And who do they want? It must be an offensive mind. It must be.
Has to be.
And I don't know if they're going to change GM. I would imagine they will not change GM. I don't think Terry Pagula wants to clean house.
Again, though, you wouldn't do that now. Drafting, right? Like, again, go back to the Doug Whaley example. They fired Rex Ryan, and they didn't fire Doug Whaley for like 7 months after that.
Yeah. Man.
Like, does Bean run one more draft and then he's out? That's a possibility here.
So this is a good question. I want to go back to 2017, okay? 2017.
Brandon Bean is staying. Ian Rappaport reports Brandon Bean is staying. So there you go.
Well,
staying for now, though. Again,
staying
that's
for now, right?
Retained.
I mean, like
retained. I'm seeing too is
in
the word that's being
2017,
used.
the Bills let Doug Whaley and his staff run the draft because you can't let all the intel of the draft walk out the door in January. You can't do that,
right?
Their season ends. Their Super Bowl is in May, right?
Yep.
It's in April,
right?
The difference in 2017 was you also moved on from the head coach and everything was changing, so you had to let them, and then you moved on. You have seen teams fire a GM but leave the scouting staff in, like the Miami Dolphins, essentially, right?
Sure.
Who did this, or the Atlanta Falcons who've done this, right?
That's right.
But so you could do that.
Yeah.
In this case, it looks like, again, if you're going to move on from the coach and you're going to retain Brandon Bean, does that mean he's completely safe through the draft? It appears as though, from what you're reading right there, that's the case, but we don't know that
Bean
for sure.
will remain and lead the search for a new coach.
Okay, well then Brandon Bean is staying on as the
All right.
general manager of the Buffalo Bills. How's this hit with Bills fans? Because, listen, the pitchforks have been out for Sean McDermott for a long time, and still there are certainly a lot of those. But I would say much more of those have come towards Brandon Bean over this season.
I got a Twitter poll with 5,000 votes, Sal, asking if you were to say goodbye to one, and Bean got 92% of the vote.
Well, the 8% who wanted the other one.
Yeah. Well, there might be some. There's probably also a good faction that just want do something different. Let's see something different here. So, wow, I am still stunned.
Me too.
And man, wow. All right, well. How about it wasn't at 10:02?
Just don't hire Mike Tomlin.
We got one. Oh my God, it's not Mike Tomlin. It didn't happen at 10:02.
No, again, and I'll say, to me, this comes down to you have to go with one of two ways. You either hire a coach that's won a Super Bowl and say, here's what we've been missing. This guy knows how to get there.
Who is that other than Tomlin?
I don't know. Mike McCarthy. I'm not advocating. Whoa. I know that. No, stop. You know what I mean?
I know.
You know, there's not many guys out there.
Right.
Okay. I'm saying you either, that's the point. Like, who is out there that's done that, right? Or you hire the best young offensive mind you can.
Right, like the Rams passing game coordinator that the Steelers are interviewing is getting a lot of love.
To your point, there's not another guy I can
think of.
There's
not a guy.
The Jaguars have a 30-year-old offensive coordinator. People are really hot on, like Udinsky is his name, or
the only other name is someone I don't think they would ever hire, but it's Belichick.
No.
Yeah, and they're not doing that.
No, that's not happening.
But like those are the only people not already working in the league that have won Super Bowls.
A lot of this comes to
that are like still coaching.
A lot of this comes to now we're talking about, for the first time ever, whose vision of what the team should be. Now it's Beane's vision. What is your vision? And there's plenty of reason to question his vision for what they are.
I know, what did you think? What more were they to do with the defense they had? Right? So I guess if you use that logic, you have to be turning your attention then to the offense, right? You're going to hire Brian Flores? Like, what do you think he's going to do with those pieces? Anything more than McDermott?
Brian Flores would deliver you a hell of a defense. It would be aggressive.
But better than the one they just had with the pieces they had?
Well, you need better pieces, right?
You need better pieces.
You got to draft a lot better, for sure. Wow.
Okay. A lot to get to here. I'm going to be on at 10 o'clock. Some thoughts.
Take a breath?
Yeah, let me gather all those, and obviously we have a lot to talk about in the Extra Point Show. And just so everybody knows, we don't have anything from the Bills on this yet.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, so there's nothing official from the Bills. Obviously, we anticipate this is the case. It's happening. But when I say we have nothing from the Bills yet, there's a couple components here. First, you have to get the official word, and then it's when do we hear from people with the Bills, right? The other part of this. I mean, yesterday I was down there at locker cleanout, and there was no, and we were expecting Josh to talk. There was no Josh. And people said, can you read anything into that? And part of me said, I wonder if there's a bunch of talk going on about where do you see this team right now? What do you want? I'm not saying Josh had a hand in this. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of stakeholders here who, if you're going to make a franchise-altering move like this, I think you have to talk to the people who are the most franchise-altering people.
Davis Webb.
Davis Webb would be a really good offensive coordinator choice. I don't think he's ready to be a head coach. That would be interesting. I saw Davis Webb, by the way, on the field
people think
in Denver.
People think he is destined to be a head coach, and you would get at you.
Is he ready for that, though? I will tell you, he loves Buffalo. He would come back here in a heartbeat to be a part of this organization, given the right role.
Right.
He's considered the passing game coordinator over there, I think. I don't think he's officially the offensive coordinator.
He got an interview for a head coaching job.
He did.
And we know he doesn't call plays because Peyton does it. So
correct. So I don't know. Like, how would that feel? A guy that never has even called plays.
He's a head coach.
Right. I think that's a leap. But I wouldn't doubt you get a guy like that, as an offensive coordinator, because now everything's on the table. New staff. Everything.
Wow.
Man.
Stunning.
I'm stunned.
Totally stunned. Feel bad for Sean McDermott on some level, but at the same time, thanks for everything you did for the organization. There's time for that. And then, all right, we turn our eyes to a new head coach. New play callers, new staff, new full
new staff. You have to. There's going to be guys retained, I'm sure. They'll.
Wow.
New staff, unless
you don't have to retain
unless they're keeping
guys,
unless they're keeping Joe Brady as the head coach. But I don't think that's happening.
I don't think they're keeping
You
Joe
don't
Brady.
do this and hire from within from a team that you're moving on from this head coach, right?
That's what I think.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, and every other outcome, you're getting a whole new staff.
The end of what is Beane going to say at his end of season presser?
Well,
he said. Listen, does he have the power to do this? Has that changed? He said he had a championship roster. No one thinks he does. And he got the coach fired.
Well, you're saying he got the coach fired.
Sure.
Possibly.
You're right. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I take that back. He said they had a championship roster. Nobody thinks he has a championship roster. He gets to stay and the coach has to go.
And we heard when he said that a few days later, Sean McDermott, when he's asked, do you agree that you have a championship roster? He didn't say yes. He said, I love these guys.
And now do we know, when do we hear from Josh?
Well, that's a great question. Again,
he'll get asked a question about whether he got asked.
Right? Again,
about the coach.
Do we? I don't even know if we do. We probably do.
You got to hear from the quarterback.
I think you have to at some point.
To talk about it.
We were told yesterday within the next couple days.
Okay.
To expect it, but that was before all this happened.
Wow. All right, 803-0550.
Vic Carucci, Sean McDermott been fired by the Bills via Sean's agent.
Okay.
Wow.
We can literally never go to commercial because I need this shock to continue to wear off.
I know.
I'm just shocked. I'm just.
It's as shocked as I've ever been sitting in this chair by far. Not even close.
Somebody. Sorry, I know we're going long here. Somebody brought up to me again, and it's always been the example of Dungy and Tampa for me, right? Where I have a text thread with some friends. Some live in Florida, and they went through that, and they're Bucs fans, and they would always bring it up. And it's something I lived through when I was down there, which is this. They kept getting to a certain point, and they couldn't get over the hump, and everyone said, and I was like, come on, like this guy, like you have a really good coach here.
Yeah.
And they finally did it. The difference was, in Tampa, they targeted, it wouldn't have been for anybody but John Gruden.
They targeted Gruden.
It was John Gruden. It wasn't firing Dungy in a vacuum and then doing a search. It was,
who could they
we have a
trade
chance
for?
to get John Gruden. And the reason I bring up the example is, do the Bills have a guy they have to get right now, and this is why they're doing this? And that's what I wonder, or we're going to have a search. Believe me, folks, I know how this works. There's no surprise from the Bills on who to search for here, right? Like, if you're going to make this move, you already have a list of people that you've been researching in some capacity. You always do and you never know what a guy could retire at the end of the year. You got to have things moving on and be ready for that.
All right. The Bills have fired Sean McDermott, according to his agent. They will keep Brandon Beane to lead the coach search as they enter. That's 10 openings, ties the record. It was 9. 10 coaches hired this cycle. Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, now the 2 longest tenured behind Andy Reid, I guess, right? Like, wow. Still, I guess we'll go to break and sit here and talk about it in this room and then come back and talk about it more for months. Wow.